Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. Going again into news and prophecy, linking the things that we see happening worldwide. All right before our very eyes to the Holy Scriptures. All right, via biblical prophecy so that the elect could know the times that they're in, all right, and be stable, all right, in the faith and rooted in belief, all right, in the Most High God, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, through whom we have received the Holy Spirit in these latter days via the Comforter, all right, which gives us all understanding and inspires us to stand on our feet, pursuing the biblical prophecy. The Israelites would awaken in the latter days out of a dead state, all right, and Judah, which is the southern kingdom, and Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom, will be gathered together through who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, all right, making sense of all things, starting with the servants, the prophets, and the rest of the brothers and sisters who have awakened as well through their word, all right, which is sent directly from the Most High through his Son. All right. And as we can see, we're in perilous times. All right. We can see that this new president elect is causing a stir. All right. There's much division, much confusion. And this particular president is bringing about many promises, as these presidents always do. But there's something different about this one. All right. And we don't know exactly what's going to come of it. But we know that 2025 is going to be live. Okay, much division. All right, strange works are going to take place as prayed for in the book of Sirach, the 36th chapter. All right, send more strange works. Cut off our enemies. All right, confound those that have, made a mockery of Israel. And the Lord is doing it. Okay. And we love every second of what's happening, but we know that the straight gate is upon us. All right. Things are going to intensify eventually. All right. We know legislation is going to be passed to come after those who have particular, talking points. What I foresee is that this guy Trump, may be taken out, as that's pretty much been the narrative surrounding him. All right. But with these talking points and what he's trying to boast and what he's going to do, I don't see it happening no other way. And pretty much they're going to wage war eventually on those who have particular talking points, particular beliefs. Now, I speak as a man, but that's what I foresee surrounding this guy, because what he's boasting and doing is out of this world when you look at the world we live in. As we'll get into a few of those things surrounding him, because every time you look up, it's something new. All right. He hasn't even pretty much been sworn in yet, and he's already promising this, that. And as you can see here, he's added a new department, all right, called the Department of Government Efficiency, where he's added Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead that department. Okay, two billionaires, all right, in which they boast that this guy, Elon Musk, is the richest man in the world, but he's not. Okay, that's just an illusion. The richest man in the world, all right, you're not going to see him on any social media platform. You're not going to see him, walking around being involved with presidential candidates, which ironically, he just popped up, as a Trumpster, and now all of a sudden he's a part of his cabinet. Trump just literally created a department called the Department of Government Efficiency, which, as we're going to show you, is rooted in putting things in check, setting things in order. Okay. And when you look at this whole left-right paradigm, it seems as though many of the people on the left were crying for Kamala to be put in office because they didn't want to be outed. There's a lot coming out, even when, Trump was in office before. There was an investigation going on with the whole pizza GAT thing. Pedo rings were getting uncovered left and right. So it seems like many people who were, supporting the left, all right, they're a part of those Diddy parties, which all of them are into it. The part of the Epstein list, which, as we're going to show you, they're boasting and bringing all of that out. So it seems like these devils have dirt on one another. And pretty much the division that the scriptures talks about that comes from these two horns like a lamb is really pretty much playing itself out right before our very eyes. But again, we're going to start with this here, where Trump has selected Elon Musk to lead the Department of Government Efficiency. Let's get this real quick. Very interesting time. Right?
The breaking news on the President Trump transition front. The president-elect is picking up more key members of his new cabinet, and some major picks have just been announced. So moments ago, the president-elect revealing that tech mogul Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and former Republican presidential candidate.
And we know he's not the richest man in the world. That's just an illusion. The people who are the richest people in the world, okay, ultimately are the bankers. And of course, we know of the Red Shield, the Rothschild family, but we know that there's even other Edomites. See? But Elon Musk does come from a powerful family, you see, and he's being set up. But we know what he's behind, and we know what his true intent, all right, is as concerning artificial intelligence taking over your everyday lives and man being merged with machine, which is the plan of the elites when it's all said and done, to have you haragmad. You see? And to recreate man in their image. See, but they're doing a very, very good job of presenting to the American people salvation from what, all right, the left has presented in the form of the mess of the Biden-Harris administration, which was nothing but, all right, a continuation of the Obama administration. Freakiness, nastiness, weirdoism. And we saw with Donald Trump being selected as president, beating Kamala Harris in a landslide, we saw the mindset, all right, surrounding these people on the left as they lost their damn minds. And it brought about all kinds of confusion, division, hatred, which is prophecy. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to get into some of that, because when you look at what these, people on the left are doing, okay, where you have women talking about poison your husbands. You have Michael or Michelle Obama, whatever that is, talking about leave your husbands or don't follow your husbands if they vote for Trump. This is creating nothing but a division in homes and families. As you see, these weirdos, which this is a horrible show that should be banned. The View, all right, co-host agrees with advice to cut off pro-Trump family at holidays. It's a moral issue for me. So it's nothing but division amongst families, all right? Even worse than the division that the Ovid brought, all right? The Crown Royale 2019 GAB. GAB. I guess you could sound that out. All right, the Yob, the Gob. All right, that thing that they told you had to ultimately get in order to live on Earth. And what's the result of that? People who stood their ground and didn't take it and lost their jobs are getting millions of dollars in certain places. Anyway, going back to this here, let's back it up.
More key members of his new cabinet, and some major picks have just been announced. So moments ago, the president-elect revealing that tech mogul Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, also a businessman, will spearhead the Department of Government Efficiency. This is a new thing that Trump has created. The mission of all this is to cut red tape, reduce wasteful spending, and overhaul federal agencies.
Right, to set things in order. Now, when you look up this department, it was just created. He just created a department to put his boy on. Okay, and again, Elon Musk is set up as this, figure that's against the deep state, against the left, for free speech. But we know what he's all about. And these are all Edomites. Okay, now this guy is an Elamite that is with him. But as you can see, is basically a task force requested by Donald Trump. Okay, and ultimately, he's paired with this guy, Vivek, Ramaswamy, okay, an Elamite out of Cincinnati, which, if you know anything about him, he's of the opinion that Americans are undergoing, a war on their minds. Okay, as you see here, Ramaswamy sees the United States in the middle of a national identity crisis participated by what he calls new secular religions like Ovidism. You see the word there. Okay. Climateism and gender ideology. Basically, he's of the opinion that these things are destroying America from the inside out, and that people in positions of power are using their power to destroy America. That's basically what he's of the opinion. All right. He took the yob, but then he said he regretted it. Then he said he didn't regret it. So he has, mixed views there when it comes to the yob. You can look it up. Okay. But he's of the opinion. All right. He's critical of environmental, social, and corporate government's initiatives. Okay. He's against the way that things are being ran. And they're of the opinion that there's particular people in positions of power that need to be taken out. So they're coming out swinging, all right, words wise at least, okay, and boasting in some very, very great things, all right, as pertaining what this campaign is going to do for America. Okay, let's look at some other things that Trump is boasting in.
On day one, I will sign an executive order banning schools from promoting critical race theory or
critical race theory. He plans on banning that, which gives the true history of these devils and what they've done. Okay, but look what else he's talking about banning. All right, because, the critical race theory brought about the truth of how America was established, what they did to the so-called blacks, what they did to the so-called Native Americans. Colonization, the true history of America was being taught in schools. And a lot of these Edomites didn't like that. You see? But he wants to make America great again, but he don't want the history of America to be taught in schools. But then he's talking about how the education system needs to be fixed. Well, isn't it true that America was established off of the bloodshed of Israelites? Anyway, as you can see here, God created two genders, man. So he's coming out swinging. Listen.
Day one, I will sign an executive order banning schools from promoting critical race theory or transgender insanity. I will take historic action to defeat the toxic poison of gender ideology and reaffirm that God created two genders, male and female.
And when you look at it, okay, outside of the rhetoric, you would wonder why Americans who are, still bamboozled and stupid wouldn't be behind this. It's because the spirit of Satan is here. Okay? We're going to listen to another speech. Okay? Of course, he's the devil. But the fact that you have our people growling and saying that this is cruel, all right, to tell, all right, 8-year-olds they can't change their sex. Because you got an 8-year-old who will wake up. All right. And with this current world we're in, they can basically say, I feel like I'm in the wrong body. And they could go basically have their sex changed. And in certain states, they can do it, all right, without the consent of their parents. And if their parents try to hold them back, their parents can be what? jailed, or they can take the children from them. California is an example of that. This is the world we live in. So Trump is coming and saying that's ludicrous. This is crazy. All right. And he's going to save you from, all right, that with the mess that the left has left. Just keep listening.
I will keep men out of women's sports.
You see, and why are women so mad at him? Here it is. The greatness of a woman is what y'all boast about. But the left has allowed men to turn themselves into women, so-called, clip ponytails to the back of their head or grow one, cut off his genitals if he wants to, or keep it, because some of them keep the private area, and they're walking around women's locker rooms naked. And a lot of women are uncomfortable with it. But you see these crazies. What has been found out is that there's particular people of our own nation, men and women who are with that. They're with a man joining women's sports and dominating. When you look at how these dudes are getting into these games, I mean, they're absolutely dominating. Volleyball, swimming, softball, hitting the ball far as hell, track. They all in the front of the race because men and women are built different. We're living in a time where men could change themselves into women or identify as a woman and enter into women's sports. Why would any woman be okay with that?
I will sign a law banning child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Won't happen anymore. And we will proudly say Merry Christmas again. On day one, I will sign an executive.
Yo, let's listen to this one.
Teacher or school official suggests to...
Hold up.
Well, here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this?
Insane.
I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease...
He's the devil, but come on, man. How could anybody in their right mind agree with that plan? And no one should be getting a gender reassignment, but an 8-year-old, a child, this is being pushed in schools. This is where we are. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5 and 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days come that they which dwell upon the earth should be taken in a great number, and the truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. And taken in a great number, all right, is really speaking of spiritually, man. We're seeing souls be devoured by Satan. This is the importance of the throne of David being established, because people worldwide, okay, because you see, he's talking about, taking away access from sex reassignment from children. That's going to be taken off the table completely when the throne of David is established, man. The land is barren of truth and faith, man. Iniquity shall be increased above that which thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So it's even more wicked than ancient times. All right. It's far worse with the talk of merging man with machine, undoing all of the natural foods and making them genetically altered, man, which is causing sickness every goddamn where. And this ain't medical information. We just in the news. So we're seeing iniquity, which is sin, right? Sin on top of sin. And the scriptures told you iniquity shall abound and the love of many will wax cold. This is why we're seeing all of this division. This is why women are threatening to poison their husbands, which that's supposed to be getting investigated. But they've allowed these crazies to just take precedence, and now they're on the internet threatening people who voted for Trump. This is the division that the Bible talks about that will come out of the two horns like a lamb. And we'll tap into that. Let's jump to verse 7. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish, Seas casting out fish represent death, meaning there's something wrong with the waters. The waters represent the people. Sodomitish means what? The burning. Sodom means to burn. And we know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, which when you read in the scriptures, the book of Luke, it foretells that the environment before our Lord returns would be Sodom-like. People burning in their lust to do whatever the hell they want to do, which also leads you to the Tower of Babel, where no type of behavior was being withheld from the people. People were just doing whatever in the hell they wanted to do and boasting in it. We're living in that same environment now. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and shall make a noise in the night. See, fish being cast out represents death, a stink. When fish are cast out of the sea, that means the waters, all right, the ecosystem in the waters is messed up. And that's where we are now, where the law, statutes, and commandments have not been implemented, so it's leading to death. Okay? Death everywhere, and it stinks. It's a stench. Okay? Shall make a noise in the night, because we're in a place of darkness, which many have not known, but they shall hear the voice thereof, man. Boasting in bringing people back to life through, technology. Boasting that, there is no God. Boasting in that we are God. We control our own destiny with this humanist mindset. It's only, all right, forwarded itself and became absolutely monstrous in the earth. The mindset of the people is dead set on death, rebellion, and wickedness. There shall be a confusion in many places, and the fire shall oft be sent out again. There's fires in New Jersey right now, New York, I believe. All over the world, we're seeing fires. Prophetic. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrous women shall bring forth monsters, man. Premature babies, crack babies, and they grow up and help destroy the earth, man. It says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself in the secret chamber. And the salt water is found in the sweet. We know that the waters themselves is messed up in the physical sense, but also philosophy-wise, there's people raising up talking all kinds of madness. Even when they sound like they're on point, eventually they'll go left and lead you astray. Everything's off. See? And understanding is drawing itself into a secret chamber. Even the people who seem as though they have some sense, they're even off. It's all boiling down to the fact that the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua are the only ones that's telling the truth. But let's listen to this guy.
All programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor kids will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore,
do you realize what this is going to do? All right, there's a video I saw. Let's see if I can find it. Or an article where these baby deletion clinics are saying if women stop having sex, if Trump's plans go forth, we're going to go bankrupt. I'll see if I can find that later.
Or I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. Because
a lot of these children, go depressed after they change their SEX, right? They'll, because, it's a phase. This is the world we live in. The teachers are secretly encouraging children, all right, to have a new identity outside of being a boy or a girl. You can be a girl. You can be a boy. You have a new name. You have a new friend. They're allowing students to kiss. I know people that go through this, that have children that are in schools that have led their children, into sodomy. So what happens is a lot of these children, all right, if they don't get, corrected by their parents, they'll grow up and they'll say, fuck it, I'm going to just turn myself into the other sex. But another side of that is these children go depressed. And a lot of these men who cutting their rods off, okay, are ultimately getting infections. Okay, they're having to stick objects in themselves to keep that fake hole open. It's causing a stench. They're catching all kind of, I mean, even the thought of it is crazy, but this is the world we live in. Yeah, they have to keep cucumbers and objects to stick in that fake hole to keep it open. Okay, it's causing all kind of hell. So what do? They eventually get depressed and say, I made the wrong decision. Okay, no matter, what you say you changed yourself into, you still what you were born as. Okay, and a lot of these people, I mean, there's even videos on YouTube. Okay, they get depressed. A lot of them are committing suicide. Okay, and they're starting to need therapy. So he's saying you could sue the doctor that allowed you to do this as a child, and you could even get paid. Listen to him. This is the world we live in.
To sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients. In this case,
and the reason that this is here, okay, let's get Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. Okay, it's due to idol worship. All of these things that we're hearing about, all right, and yes, we know this guy is down with the whole program, but again, he's set up, okay, to save people who are godly from the left in their platform. Okay, so peace and safety either way, right? This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God, but whereas they lived in a great war of ignorance, so these so great plagues call they peace. And things are so crazy, and people are calling them peace. Why? Because they have ignorance of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And this is what we offer. See, when people look at us, they think we're crazy and we're out of control. All right. And we're worse than Satan himself. But meanwhile, you got people who are Christians looking at Trump as if he's the answer. You have people on the left looking at Kamala and the very things we're listening to as okay. Women who go to church every week are okay with the agenda of the left. They're okay with children being reassigned. And you'll start to ask them, well, you think that's just okay? And they'll start bringing up Trump. Or women having a right to, off their children, which Trump ain't coming to take that away. So what's the big cry? What rights are women losing now that Trump is in office? When you really look at the mental and the mentality behind what women are screaming about, they're really afraid that they're going to have to go back to being traditional women. That's really when they say, oh, we're going back into slavery. And I'll do a video on that. That's a whole nother video, man. Because we're seeing the women are just losing their goddamn mind. Women and sodomite weak men. See? And it's gonna be a divide. Okay? So people call these plagues peace. While they slew their children in sacrifices, and they did it in secret back then. They offered, their children to Molech, which now the average Jake is talking about Molech. That understanding came from the Israelites. Okay? We brought that out. How ultimately in the ancient world, instead of a baby deletion clinic, you will go and offer your child to Molech. And that's what these things are. They're temples. Okay, these parenthood or the Planned Parenthood. When the plan is to off the baby, it's called Planned Parenthood. When the plan is to get rid of it. Anyway, they slew their children in sacrifices and used secret ceremonies and made revelings of strange rites. And this is the world we live in, man. And it's all coming out. The Lord said that all things that are secret would be made manifest. So Epstein, Diddy, all right, the pizza thing, all of these things are only a small, a micro of a bigger issue, that this world is controlled by people who participate in these type of behaviors. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously or grieved him by adultery. This is the culture we live in. So that there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury. This is the world we live in. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns. The good man and people who believe in God, they're hated now. Okay, especially those of the elect who really believe in the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, according to as it is written. We're hated. Forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind. And when you go into the King James, this goes into what? Changing of gender. Disorder in marriages, adultery and shameless uncleanness, for the worship of idols, not to be named as the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. And Trump is being set up to make America biblical again. What is this going to cause? This is going to cause people to hate people who believe in God even more. Right? And if they get him up out of there, people who believe in God is going to have to be got up out of there. People who are against children getting reassignments, people who are against the evils, all right, that are associated with the far left, which the far right is all in on it too. All right, but you can see where this is all going, man, because these are talking points that we come with. This is evil.
Very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and schools.
Yeah, because a child naturally starts to form into what it is, either a male or a female. Puberty. Well, they want to block that. They have puberty blockers, and this is being given to children. Meanwhile, we're the problem.
Districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding.
So we can see what this division is going to lead to. As Trump pledged to roll back protection, all right, for trans students, they're flooding crisis hotlines. So these trans people are now losing their minds. Transgender youth in the United States have been flooding crisis hotlines since the election of Donald Trump. Them, all right, and ultimately women. All these crazy people, they're shaving their heads, talking about they ain't gonna have sex no more. The trans people are all in disarray. So what is this going to cause? This is going to cause more. This is going to stir up more division. So 2025 is getting ready to be live, man. Okay. And again, we know that the powers that be have they're rubbing their hands together, because they're definitely going to use all of this to bring about the order that they want. Again, order out of chaos. Okay. Transgender youth in the United States have been flooding crisis hotlines since the election of Trump, who made anti-trans themes central to his campaign. Many teens worry about how their lives could change once he takes office. So Trump is coming to, he's supposedly, right? All right. That he's going to come shut down the freak party. Okay. You women ain't going to be able to just use baby deletions as a form of birth control. You're going to have to be more responsible with your lives, right? That's basically what he's so-called bringing about, man. And it's already causing a stir. These things are just being talked about, and people are losing their mind. And his administration can swiftly start work on one major change. It can exclude transgender student from Title, I believe, 4 protections, which affect schools, or 9, which affect school policies on students' use of pronouns, bathrooms, and locker rooms. So you hear this, you got men going into the women's locker room. Now, you never hear about the women going into the men's locker rooms. I wonder why. You never hear about women entering into male sports and dominating and make calls in a stir. I wonder why. Okay? Here it is. You have a grown man who said he identifies as a woman. He's in the bathroom. You go to take your daughter, as a mother, you go to take your daughter to use the bathroom, and he's in there with blue hair, one side blue, one side green, piercings everywhere, tattoos everywhere, looking you up and down, man. This is what these people are fighting for. Then you have to respect them by their pronoun. Well, Trump is saying, well, no, you either go be a man or a woman. Again, the two horns like a lamb, but they speak as a dragon. They're bringing about that division, man. One ad aired over 15,000 times crystallized Trump's stance on rights for transgender and non-binary Americans. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you. And here it is, you women are screaming about some Kamala. Y'all didn't want a woman to get it off. Well, Kamala bigged up a man who won Woman of the Year. Wrote him a letter. He put it on his website. He put it on his social media. Kamala wrote me a letter. So she's not for you women. You women have been pushed really to the side, but here it is, you're crying for your own demise. Now, what is a woman? Who's a woman? All that crying about women this, women that, now a damn man could be a woman. Now, a man can walk in your bathroom with his balls hanging out. They showed you in the Olympics with the world that they're trying to bring. So there is a division amongst these elites, which is going to bring about, friction, man. For one Alabama team, the ads seemed to paint trans and non-binary people as a threat to society. The weekend before the election, 16-year-old teen who identifies as non-binary uses pronouns he and they called a crisis hotline. All right. And basically they're calling these crisis hotlines crying, asking, what are we going to do? Losing their damn minds. The people of Babylon has lost their goddamn minds, man. This is craziness. He ain't finished.
As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers.
And see, that's what the left, even that whole Black Lives Matter thing, right? It was rooted in destroying the concept of the nuclear family, all right, and a patriarchy, which women are crying about a patriarchy. But here it is. You're able to do whatever in the hell you want to do here. This ain't no true patriarchy. Go to Sudan. Go to Russia. Go to Iran. Okay? Go to Ethiopia and try to twerk. Go to Dubai. You'll start to see that you had all of the freedoms you wanted here in America. So what more do you want? But the nuclear family is the apex. This is the standard of what the Most High wants, man. A man and a woman coming together and having children. Black Lives Matter, which you niggas have been basically formed into Satanist. It was all rooted in destroying the nuclear family and putting alphabet people, trans, and all of that at the forefront of leadership. And this guy himself had a alphabet person in his cabinet before. So he talks a good game. But let's see. We'll see.
And celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from... So
again, this could lead to them trying to ban the Bible. Because the Bible says male and female. So you want to ban Trump? People are now anti-Messiah. See, you people are being set up for the okie doke. And a lot of people are like, wow. especially 80s and, 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, baby. They like, shit. Enough was enough. Nothing but positive comments, right? Praise Jesus.
From participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented.
We just read in Second Ezra, the 5th chapter, all right, the sodomite sea shall make a noise in the night that many have not known. Okay, people have, mutilated themselves in times past. And self-mutilation is pretty much at an all-time high. People are altering the way their face looks, making their lips bigger, making their ass bigger, men making themselves taller. This is Babylon. Okay? This is Babylon.
Invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much. Gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth.
Right. I think it just pretty much keeps playing it back. All right, we can go back to it, but let's look at a few other things this guy got going on, man. Okay, so this guy right here, all right, and we ain't got to get too deep into each article, but now he's vowing to dismantle the Department of Education. Okay, and when you look at the education, it's basically prison. Here it is, the world has evolved, and it's still the same classroom setting. It's still the same chalkboard. It's still the desk lined up in the same place. All of these children who have different learning styles being taught by one teacher. It's a mess. He's vowing to change that. Okay? He said, we want them, we want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job. So basically, he's coming and kicking people out, exposing things. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Trump discussed the failure of the Department of Education and the high expense paid to it despite its poor performance. American children are the absolute dumbest. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. All right, you're one of the worst, so you can't do worse. Trump said Monday, we're going to end education coming out of the Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up. Okay. Many cases hate our children. Yada, yada, yada. So he's talking a big game. Let's look at some more what him and his administration is talking about. J.D. Vance, I can't wait to clean up D.C. by releasing the Epstein client list. Oh, wow, really? This big list that's been, at the forefront. So now it's kind of making sense why a lot of these weirdos were bouncing up and down for Kamala, because maybe their names are caught up in some of these lists. If you see under Biden and Kamala, none of that stuff was really being released. They acted like they were, but now he's talking about, I'm bringing a list out. See that? According to Vance, the Epstein, this is the vice president for Trump. Okay? Vice President-elect has vowed to clean up American politics, man, which is filled full of Satanists. According to Vance, the release of Epstein's clients list isn't merely about revealing names. It's about identifying who among DC's elites might be compromised and removing those who are beholden, all right, to hidden interest. So there's a lot of people, all right, who's a part of these things. They got tapes out on them, but they won't bring it all out. All right, because they have people in positions who are holding it back. They don't want them to be exposed. Well, now The American people have a right to know who's been orchestrating things from the shadows, and it's time to hold accountable those who betrayed their country, manipulated through their own dark, twisted secrets. So he's talking about bringing it out. Okay? He's talking about bringing it all the way out. And remember, when Trump was in office before, he acted on bringing out that information. That information started to come out. So although we know this is all theatrics, there's really stuff happening too. Okay? Let's see here.
Everybody in politics has.
There's a reason, all right, the small hats lobbyists were trying to pay, all right, or put so much money into Kamala in the left. Okay? And you have these celebs backing them because they're all a part of it. Okay? We'll see.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
So again, they're talking a big talk, man. They're talking a big talk, man.
And too many of my colleagues, I'm afraid, are compromised in this area for whatever reason. Somebody's whispered in their ear, said, hey, you don't want something to come out on something else. You better keep your mouth shut on this. And that's exactly what they've done. And it continues.
And it's Democrats and Republicans on that list. There you go. And this was Jake's guy right here. You so-called Black Hispanics, and you love this guy. What's his name? Bill Clinton. Have you seen that guy lately? Go look up a picture of him lately. And as you can see here, all right, civil war for 2025 will lead to the NWO. And this, all that we're reading, everything we're seeing is a part of it. Because all of this stuff is going to start to come out. Okay? And meanwhile, you American Edomites really believe that this guy Trump is going to fix everything. So you're rejoicing. As the scriptures say, rejoice and be glad. Trump is you Edomites' chance to rejoice and be glad and feel as though you got away with everything. And the atrocious history that's tied to this place is just going to be ignored and Trump is going to come to save the day. No. He's telling, I'm going to come get the immigrants out. I'm going to get the pedos out. I'm going to get the freaks out. I'm going to stop the surgeries. I'm going to fix the education. He going to do every goddamn thing, right? So it's getting ready to be just all out exposure, division, and civil unrest. That's what's coming, man. And see, we here, the Israelites, we going to continue singing a new song. Those of us who are in the right spirit. Okay, here you go. Trump vows to lock up pedo elite and fact checkers who falsely debunked. All right, this. Okay, so some very big names possibly can come out. And see, this is why a lot of these people didn't want this guy in. Because he seems as though, although we know he's down with it all, he knows some serious secrets on some of these people. Okay? And all of you so-called, I'm just going to speak to our women, you Israelite women who cursing out Jake men and talking all this shit as if Kamala was for you. You're going to find out what she was really all about. And the fact that you wasn't able to see through her just proves that you don't have true leadership. A true leader would see right through this devil. But you all ate it up. And now you're boasting and killing and poisoning your husbands behind this bitch. As if the last 4 years under Biden and her haven't been atrocious. As if our whole stay in America hasn't been atrocious. None of these people are going to fix it. You Israelites ain't going to win. You Edomites ain't going to win. The elect are going to win. That's really what's getting ready to happen. And all these things are coming down the pipe for our sake, man. But we love it. Trump is talking about, so he's talking a good game, man. President-elect DT, all right, Nero Trump, has vowed to lock up pedo elite who and punish the fact checkers who have falsely debunked the so-called conspiracy theory. Because when it all came out on these devils and what they were doing with this whole P-gate thing, all right, pretty much you had a group of people pushing fake news and this is a lie and this and that and covering up for these people. See? And all of those so-called conspiracy theories are coming out to be true. It says, and the celebrities who desperately rallied around Kamala Harris during her ill-fated campaign. Why? Because they don't want to be outed. Okay, the Lord is going to use this devil to stir up a lot of commotion. See? And it all works in our favor. Because there's nothing that's going to be hidden that's not going to be brought out, man. And when it's all said and done and you find out what these people are really all about, you're going to be ashamed of yourself. Then the missiles are going to come. Right? It says desperately maneuvering to avoid the hammer of justice as we speak. So the hammer of justice is supposedly going to come down under DT. This is why I believe they're going to eventually get him up out of there. Okay? We will see. Okay? It said, the day before the election, Oprah Winfrey stumped that for Kamala Harris and celebrated. Let me start over. The day before the election, Oprah Winfrey stumped for Kamala Harris and declared that if Democrats didn't win, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again. You're going to find out all of these people are sick. Oprah was actually telling the truth. Harris didn't win, and Oprah and her pedo pals are going to prison where they will never enjoy privilege of casting a ballot again. So supposedly a lot of these celebs and elites are leaving America. We'll see. The pedo elite are going down, and it has been a long time coming. Now, if America was righteous, okay, it would have been got rid of it. You go wait to 2024 to out what's been the whole goddamn time? In 2016, we published the MAGA scoop that Hillary Clinton's manager, John Podesta's emails contain pedo code words as identified by the FBI in WikiLeaks emails. Let's see here. Since the investigators have been exposing the crimes so depraved that normal human beings find them impossible to fully comprehend. So people don't believe it, but it's all going to come out. Oh, you just thought it was Diddy and freak off parties. You thought they were the only ones harming children? No. I present unto you John Podesta, Obama handler. P-Gate is real. WikiLeaks showed us. And when WikiLeaks came out, they punished the individual who was behind bringing all of this information out, right? Yes, these horrific crimes are normal day-to-day practice of the pedo elite who are secretly waging war against humanity to further their own satanic agenda. Trump won the election for many reasons, but one of the most popular is the respect for the family unit, while Dems pushed a disastrous package of policies designed to further degrade the fabric of society. Trump vowed to lock up human traffic, rapists, and pedos. It's no wonder the DC elite and Hollywood and CIA globalists were desperate to defeat Trump. He is ruining their child SX traffic racket. We'll see. We will see. Okay? John Podesta's friend who debunked P-Gate arrested for graping toddlers. These are some sick people, man. And all of you people are part of this. All of you are getting ready to be destroyed, all right, outed, enslaved, right? This is what Yahweh Shah is coming to end. Okay? And let's not act like this guy, Trump, ain't a part of it. These people are sick. Okay? For time's sake, I'm just going to move on. Trump says he's going to stop wars. Trump is talking about leaving NATO. Could you believe that? Yeah, Trump is talking about leaving NATO. Now, if you remember when he was in office, he was constantly cursing NATO out, saying they're not putting enough money into the pot, cursing out the EU. So he's never really been a big fan of NATO. So if they exit NATO, man, this could, and also, which we'll get in another video, Turkey has officially severed relations with Israel. So this thing is all coming into fruition, which we'll get that in another lesson. But again, he's talking about bringing some serious peace. Let's get it again. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay? So again, the whole concept of bringing about peace and safety and making everything all right. You got these Edomites now; they're happy again to be white. A lot of Edomites are getting proud again. Hope has been restored unto them. So as the scriptures say, rejoice and be glad, Jack. We're going to see how it all ends, man. Because just when you think you're about to get away with all of this atrocious history, the Lord is going to come down on you. You're going to pay. Okay? Let's see here. So, yeah. That was another one, but yeah. Damn, this guy is going in. So Trump said he's going to stop wars. Okay? Which Babylon is the hammer of the earth. That's their money-making mechanism. So he's talking about stopping wars. He's pulling out of the climate agreement. Okay? He's doing a whole hell of a lot, or talking as if he's going to do a whole hell of a lot. Okay? President-elect is seeking to overhaul energy and environmental policies, aiming to dismantle the woke agenda and eliminate programs that impede the country's economic growth. All right. Reports say he is planning to appoint an energy czar to replace Biden's climate czar. Again, he's talking a big game. And you can look up these articles and really tap into them. So I'm a little crunched for time, so we're just going to move right on. Okay. RFK vows to dismantle the corrupt FDA. So now they're talking about this administration is talking about going after the Food and Drug Administration. Right? And what they're allowing into the foods. Remember, this guy was supposedly against the Jizab. Again, we will see. All right, they're talking a big game. J.D. Vance puts EU on notice. Stop censoring citizens or we will defund NATO. So there you go, that division. Okay? They're talking, hey, man, they going in. These are some very interesting talking points that speak to a lot of the prophecies that we've been bringing out. The division between the NATO and the EU, the 10 toes being divided. Okay? The vice president argues that Americans' participation in NATO should be contingent on the alliance, respect for free speech, core American values. So what America should be saying is, if NATO wants us to continue supporting them and NATO wants us to continue to be a good participation in this military alliance, why don't you respect American values and respect free speech? Again, division. Okay, the division talked about in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, the 10 toes, partly iron, partly miry clay. All right. He criticized the notion of supporting a military alliance that does not uphold free speech. So there you go. All kind of division. Okay. Anti-Trump women start a new online trend. Okay? In the wake of Tuesday's elections results, some women frustrated by Trump's return to the White House are using century-old metaphors about women poisoning their husbands to channel their disappointment, causing a stir online. So again, you have that nothing but division, man. And what does the scripture say about division? Mark 3:23. And again, what did we read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter? Okay? Disorder in marriages. See? Adultery. All right? And a big part of this comes from what Michelle Obama told women.
If you don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. Are you as men prepared to look into the eyes of the women and children you love and tell them that you supported this assault on our safety? We have every right to demand that the men in our lives do better by us. To make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment. And we are more than just baby-making vessels. You are a woman who lives in a household of men that don't listen to you or value your opinion. Just remember that your vote is a private matter. Regardless of the political views of your partner, you get to choose. You get to use your judgment and cast your vote for yourself and the women in your life to make it plain to the men in our lives that we need to stand not with Trump, but with us. We need them to vote for the only candidate in this race who will protect our lives. We need them to vote for Kamala Harris.
So again, she basically was telling, when you watch this video, this woman to the far right here, boy, goodness gracious. These people are absolutely atrocious. All of these people are through. Jake is gone, man. All of them. Even the ones that like him that make a little sense, they gone. Right? But you ones on that far left kick, goodness gracious. But again, this monster just sat up there and told women to rebel against their husbands. Right? And it's, you know, the whole, you know, gender war has deepened to where now women are starting a trend, all right, about poisoning their husbands. Make Aqua Tofana great again. MATGA movement, all right, is a recent online trend in which some women humorously advocated reviving Aqua Tofana, a 17th century poison, all right, used by women to kill and escape their abusive husbands. So your husband voting for Trump is labeled as abusive, and you hear the talking points of these women, you know, they're misogynistic, telling us what to do with our bodies. It's the same talking points, which the media stirred this up. And again, this is nothing but prophecy, man. Revelation 13:10. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, America, Babylon the Great, the revival of Rome. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So the two horns like a lamb caused this division. Mark 3:23. And he called unto them and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. Okay? James 3:16, for where envy and strife is, there is confusion, okay, in every evil work. Okay? And that's ultimately what we see. A house divided. It ain't going to be able to stand. So all of these things are going to lead, all right, or help lead, all right, to the end of this place. Okay? There's going to be gender wars, class wars, okay, race wars, ideology wars, religious wars. People are divided in every which way. And the two horns like a lamb, okay, this Democratic and Republican system are helping to fuel that fire, as we can see. Okay, this nigga just sat up there and told you, don't listen to your husbands. Vote for women's rights. Vote for Kamala. And what rights was she going to give you? I really want to know. Okay? So you got these far extreme leftists getting online threatening to even put the president out. Mainly targeting Trump and men who support conservative policies that affect women. In a video posted on Grabian, women embracing the trend appear in captions such as "Sure, my body, your choice," before pouring unknown liquids into drinks. Just as this is juxtaposed with medieval images of women pouring potions, while the captions tell the story of Tofino, who was responsible for the deaths of over 600 abusive husbands. Okay. So there you go. I mean, you can look more into it, but this is just one aspect. Let's keep going. America's divided. Okay. 54% of Kamala voters are planning to denaturalize and leave America. Okay. Abortion is health care. My body, my choice. All right. Well, why wasn't it his body, his choice when he voted for Trump? All of you people got to go. So they want to leave. Okay. Well, good. Because if these people who are online screaming and making these videos, which a lot of them look like her, a lot of them are so-called black women, okay, just in the screen looking crazy. If you don't have to be around these and see these people no more, wouldn't that make life better? But we know America is not going to get better. These people ain't going no goddamn where. They're going to sit here and they're going to fight. It's going to be a bloodbath. 2025 is going to be absolutely live, man. Okay? Look at these weirdos. It's probably a man. Sex strike. Who's smashing this? Kathy Griffin joins sex strike to punish American men until a Democrat returns into Oval Office. You really think these women go not have sex for 4 years? This is ludicrous, man. This is that perverse spirit mingled in the midst of Egypt, as Isaiah the 19th chapter talks about, man. I got to keep going because I got to roll out. Joy Reid, the devil herself. Black women have resigned from saving America after white women voted for Trump. Now, here it is. You all follow the white woman on this whole feminist kick, only for her to choose her man at the end. Okay, they wasn't the white woman don't want no goddamn Kamala Harris ruling. They want a strong white man ruling this country. So you all lose again. Stupid. The View co-host agrees with the advice to cut off pro-Trump families at holidays. So more division, man. All right? More division. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, what livelihood have women lost? It's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, all right, you know, to say, I have a problem with the way you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. These people are absolutely insane. Okay? They're sparking more and more hatred and division, which is prophecy, man. Okay? So, Newsom planning a Trump-proof California. Let's see here. A Trump-proof California. Whether it be fundamental civil rights, reproductive freedom, or climate action, we refuse to turn back the clock and allow our values and laws to be attacked. So again, civil unrest, okay, division, okay? Again, 2025 is going to be a great year to be alive, man. Okay? So we're going to leave that there. We'll be back with more. Salaki, I had to rush through those things, but hey, Lord willing, there'll be another one. Shalom.